Alright, what's going on? Welcome to Trading Forex from the phone. This is Trey Leon Bay. This is actually going to be my personal trading journal. So this is going to be week one of the journal here. I'm going to go over my analysis for the week for certain pairs that I have my eye on. If you're watching this video, whether or not you're watching it from the online trading group private chat, or whether you're watching it from some other area that we actually posted the video on. Since this is my personal analysis, isn't trading advice, it isn't financial advice, and you are responsible for making your own analysis, learning how to trade, learning how to analyze the charts. I'm just sharing with you my personal journal as we go along. Okay, so this is me sharing my trade plans. If you would like to share your trade plans with the group, feel free to post it in the private chat. We can all see your trading plan, and we can actually analyze it together. Or you can go along with me in this video, and we'll analyze a few pairs that I have my eye on. All right, so I'm going to look at a few of the JPY pairs. So the Japan yen, those pairs seems to be setting up for some pretty good moves. And so we're going to take a look at those pairs. We're also going to take a look at a few commodity pairs, maybe stocks, Bitcoin, or one of the cryptocurrencies, and we'll add in a few as we go along. All right, so right now we're going to look at the AUDJPY first. We're on the daily chart. As we see on the daily chart here, I have my descending and ascending channels that are drawn on the chart already. We also have horizontal boxes that we use as support and resistance. And also on the charts, we have some moving averages. I have the red and the blue moving averages, which is our normal 10 and 20 moving averages for short-term trend. Then we also have the yellow and the green moving averages, which is the 50 and the 200 moving average on this chart, and that's used for longer term trend. Sometimes I'll switch out the 50 moving average for the 100 moving average, depending on how fast or slow the market or the trend is moving. All right, so that's what we have on the chart now. We also have our oscillator at the bottom, which we're using stochastics for our trading for this right now. Okay, so on the AUDJPY, we have it long term. If we zoom out, we see that it's been on the downtrend inside of this descending channel for quite some time, since December 2017. And then recently we went on a short-term uptrend for a pullback for a few months, really a half a year plus, that we've been on this uptrend and inside of this channel here. Okay, and we just recently broke this channel. So it was on an ascending channel. We just broke it right here in this area. Once we broke the trend, we came back up and retested this resistance area. Price used it as a resistance before and fell a little bit, and it used it as support, and now it's come back up for resistance. It fell a little bit, and then it's right back up in that area again to be used as resistance. We're also here at the top of this descending channel, as well as at the bottom of the ascending channel. So there's quite a little bit of confluence of resistance all in this area here. So even though price did a strong move up for the euro, for maybe it could have been some news, but we're still testing a whole lot of resistance up here, as well as we have these moving averages, and price is well below all of the moving averages, which also shows downward momentum for this pair. And so I do think the Japanese yen is going to get stronger, which is going to make the pairs fall that are against JPY. All right, so that's just my opinion on where we are in the economies and the markets for global economies, and the where we are as far as the news and the sentiment, whether people are risk on, and whether people are have fear in the market or not. There's just a lot going on right now in February 2020 that's causing some fear in the market. Okay, so that is the AUDJPY. It seems like it has some momentum to the downside to me, even though it did this strong move up for the last few days prior. There seems like there's a chance that's going to continue on with this long-term downtrend. Let's move to the next pair. All right, so now here we have the Japan yen versus the pound. So the pound versus Japan yen. It's very similar where we've been on a downtrend since 2017. We're at a short-term uptrend for the last few months, half a year plus, and then we just recently broke this ascending channel, but we didn't break it strongly. There was just a small break, and as we see, prices really just going back and forth inside of this range, going up and down. So for the pound versus yen, price is stuck inside of a range. It did a break of the channel, and now is right back at the top, doing a retest of the channel on the other end, as well as is in a resistance area with this horizontal box. And so there is a good confluence of it being stuck at two resistance confluences with some downward momentum. But as we can see with the moving averages here, price is above all of the moving averages, showing some upward momentum still. And so we have a little conflict with the moving averages showing some upward momentum, but we have in two resistance where there's a channel break as well as a horizontal resistance where price has been met at. So the pound could be a little bit stronger than the euro as we see, but we're still at some confluence of resistance. So it could do a drop, but at the same time, it could push a little higher. And so that one's just up to discretion for that one. All right, we're going to look at the New Zealand JPY, and we have here the same thing. It's been on a downtrend for a few years, short with uptrend for a pullback, and we just recently had a channel break right here in this area, and then now we have price going back and forth inside of a range on this pair as well, but it's inside of a range after a descending break. All right, so we could see this continue down just like it's been doing for the last few years. It'll continue on that downtrend after that break. And we also have the moving averages. We zoom in a little bit more, we see price is under all of the moving averages, and so that's showing a bit of downward momentum as well for the New Zealand. All right, we have the AUDJPY, which is very similar to the rest of the pairs, going down since December 2017. We've been going up for the last 6 months, a little bit more, and then we have it here where there was a recent break of the channel here. And then we see price has been going somewhat back and forth, testing right at this channel on the bottom after the break. So it's testing the channel again. We also have a horizontal line that we're showing here as resistance on the monthly time frame. So that's drawn in for monthly resistance. And we also have the moving averages where price is somewhat under all of the moving averages, where all of them are showing downward momentum for the AUDJPY. All right, so let's analyze the Canadian dollar versus the JPY. We do see it similar where it's been going down for quite some time. Then we had this short-term uptrend, and then price has recently just broken down on this channel right here in this area right here. We see price broke down, but then it made this pretty strong move right here the last few days where it made a strong move up, but it made a move up right into all of this confluence of resistance right here. And so we see we're at the top of the descending channel for the week. Price is right at the top of that. We're also at the bottom of the ascending channel, the short-term uptrend. We're at the bottom of that, retesting that at the bottom, and then we're also at a important resistance zone where price got hung up here previously in this resistance zone, and now it's here again. And so we're going to see if price is going to break through to the upside, or whether or not it's going to continue on to the downside, which it seems like it wants to continue, but it did make a pretty strong move up. So that does give us a little bit of an opposing side. Also, we can be aware of the moving averages where price is above all of the moving averages, which is also showing some momentum to the upside. And so there is a conflict that goes on between the moving averages as well as the resistance where price is at. And so it seems that price has some downward momentum, but also we have some upward momentum. So there's some conflict here with this particular pair. All right, let's move on to the stock market. We have the S&P 500, and we see here it's been on the uptrend quite strongly. Now recently we have made 2 days of a downward movement, and there was some fear in the market due to the coronavirus and everything that's going on right now. But as we made this strong move down, we also see that we're now at this current moment, we're at some some support where price did have a hang up in that area before for a few days, and now we are back at that price again. And so price can turn from this area, or we can continue to go down for a little bit more. With the stock market, there is some more room for a correction, and so we can go down and find another area of support. Maybe it could go to about this area here, or it can go even further down to this area here, or it can turn up from here. All right, so stock seems like it can go either way, in my opinion, because there's a lot more fear in the market still. I think it still has some more room to the downside before it eventually catches some support and moves back up. All right, so my opinion is on the bearish side for the stocks. As we see, gold has been going up on an uptrend strongly as well. Right now, we're at a point where gold just did a strong run for a few days in an uptrend move. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to slow down just because it's been going up that strong. It could continue strong for a while, which it does all the time. And so if you miss this break here of this range, it was going inside of this range and then it broke it. If you miss that break, you'll be late entering, but you can still enter if you go down to lower time frames. Right now we're using the daily. If you go down to lower time frames to be able to get in on the late move, still some chance that it can continue to the upside. You're just a little late with your entry when it comes down to following and trading gold. All right, let's do XRP. Okay, with XRP, we see that it's been pretty much on a downtrend since 2017. It made a strong move up before then, very strong, and then it's been dropping. It's been going back and forth. As we see, price reached our horizontal lines here at the bottom, and it never closed below that area. It's just been bouncing off of that area for at least a year or more. It's been bouncing off of that same area, but then just recently, it's broke that area finally, where price came below that area, came back up and retested here, and then now it's actually, it went down some more from that area, and now it's back up retesting that area on the opposite side again. All right, so that's showing us that this zone could be used as some strong resistance, just like it's been strong support for all of this long time. Strong support, price couldn't break below it. When it finally did break below it and it comes back, it's now used as strong resistance. And so we see here that now that price is back, it could bounce off of this resistance and continue downward as it's been doing. All right, or it can sit here and go back and forth in range for a while and try to figure out what it wants to do. Okay, so it has either or, because as we can see, once price rises above this green 200-day moving average, in the past, once it rose above it, it just went back and forth before it continued down. Here we see it went back and forth just a little bit of time before it continued down. And then here, when it went above the green moving average, it just went back and forth before continuing down. And so that's been the case in past history, where even when it goes above this moving average, it doesn't stay above it for a long time. But we do see that price is above all of the moving averages, which is showing a little bit of upward momentum. But as we said before, it doesn't usually stay in that area before it just continues down, or that's what history has shown us. And so we'll see whether or not this XRP will continue down on a downward move. In my opinion, it's more downward momentum than upward momentum because of that strong support now turning into strong resistance on the retest. In my opinion, that retest is pretty strong for a resistance area. Other than that, we do still have, obviously, the moving averages showing there's some up momentum still after the strong up move. All right, and so those are the pairs that we're going to go over for this week. Really with the market, because of everything that's going on with the virus that's been spreading around the world from China, causing some production to not be as strong, and also causing some fear in the markets, where a lot of investors are deciding, hey, let me just cash out on some of my assets, some of my investments, bring some of my money back home, just for, you know, emergency cases. And if something happens, I'll have money on hand, and then they'll feel comfortable with risking. Once some of these risk factors aren't in the market any longer, people will feel a little bit more comfortable risking and putting more money back into the market. So right now, in my opinion, is risk off. People are kind of fearful, at least they want to be safe and bring some money back home just in case. And so that's causing a lot of the dropping in some of the asset classes. Okay, And so that's my opinion where we are this week in trading. I'll see you guys next time.